All praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and salutation to all the Akim doing and pushing his word, and all honesty, truth, and sincerity worldwide, and a sincere shalom to the elect. I wanted to get into this video here, but I was just watching the brother Amawad Abad, Slaki on pronunciation, and just Amawad Abad 144, yes, GMS Amawad Abad 144, and he was going into this video here, that Peter Moses guy, okay, this is why, we go back into here, you see these wicked, and this is from the brothers out there in New York, their camp that they just, it was like last week, okay, this is Jake at his finest, man, you know, this is Jake at his finest, man, wicked and rebellious, you know, and as I was listening to that brother's video, I said, oh yeah, it's lucky I have a video to do, I have a video to do, so I'm gonna go back and listen to the rest of the brother's video, but yeah, this is Jake in a nutshell, man. Two-third Jakes, wicked and rebellious, man. They don't want to hear the scriptures. They don't want to hear anything we have to say, because they feel as we're like them. But they're walking in the carnal, in that carnality. We're not walking in carnality. We're walking with the spiritual, okay? We're walking after those things that attain to spiritual faith, humbling down yourself, when certain situations come up, in which the brothers did show a good example of that, of being in the spirit, because they could have, the conversation from this individual's side was getting loud and, just that rebellious spirit, but the brothers held their stance, They didn't come running up on him, they didn't swing no fists on him, nothing like that, They just held their ground. And at one point, this individual had walked up to one, try to walk up behind one of the elders at the camp, right? And they didn't jump on him, nothing like that. They just put him straight, like, hey, don't do that, man. Get back over there. You could stand over there and yell and do all that, but don't come in our personal space. You know what I mean? So they weren't out there yelling and screaming as some people in the yelling match and all this stuff. No, they're reading the scriptures, and they're telling, the viewers, hey, look, man, this is a perfect example right here. These two-third Jakes, these are the guys that are going to be destroyed. These are the guys that, in the time of Moses, was running their mouth. These are these individuals coming right back, right back again, okay? And I wanted to show you this video here. This from Wiz Khalifa, We Them Boys, right? This is exactly how two-third Jakes act. Look how they acting. All this. This is why I want to throw this in here. Because when I watched that video, this is the first one of the first things that came to my mind. Jake is always in that party attitude. You can't tell me nothing. This is Jake this is two-third Jake's at his finest, man. Sad case. Jumping around, hollering, smoking, fucking drinking, going on their mind. No balance. This is our people. Even with got little kids up in there jumping around, acting fool, acting stupid. Yep, this is Jake. And this is how two-thirds act, man. And they act like this, especially when we're talking about the scriptures. They carry on, get on like this, I ain't gotta listen to you. This is where we're at. This is. Let me play it one more time. I'm gonna get into the scriptures. I ain't gotta listen to y'all. This is exactly what that individual came up with, that type of attitude, Tahuti and different gods and all this type of stuff. And had his woman on the sideline. She was riding harder than him. But he was being led by her, So yeah, that's two-third Jakes, man. So anyways, let's get into this real quick because that type of spirit there, that's the spirit of rebellion. Okay? And they got a rebellious spirit on them. They won't hear. Right? Oh, Slakia. 1 Samuel 15 and 23. For rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Idolatry. Okay? Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he have also rejected thee from being king. Now, this is the spirit of 2/3. Okay? Don't they reject the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai? Don't they come in that spirit of rebellion? Don't they come with that stubbornness? Yes, they do. Because when the brothers were trying to tell this individual about the scriptures, he came up and he totally interrupted the whole conversation. You know, that's another thing too about you 2/3. You don't have manners, man. You don't have no fucking manners. Okay? You have no manners. You're wild. Okay? There's nothing in you that says, you know what? Let me just humble myself and keep it moving. You know? No, you're all about excitement, entertainment. Nobody can tell me shit. Even when we were kids, like 14, 13, and you know, some of you, Akim, probably when you're younger, you're smoking cigarette and all them things there, you put those things away, obviously. But when you would see an adult walk by as a youth doing those things, where you know in your mind, in the back of your mind, the forward of your mind, wherever, say, yo, you're not supposed to be doing those things. And when you see an adult walk past, you hide the thing, right? You ship it to your side, hide it, or you even pass it to somebody else. Because say, yo, you don't want nobody to see you doing that type of shit, right? And you know bloody well he ain't supposed to be doing it. So that shows what? A conscience. But 2/3, they don't have no fucking conscience, man. They're on the bus talking beer business, and that too. When you see these little nappy head gal on the bus talking a whole bunch of bag of shit, they have no conscience, man. They have no morals, man. They have no dignity and integrity for themselves. So that's how 2/3 roll it. Rebellious spirit, man. Stubbornness, you know. For rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity. Iniquity is sin stacked upon sin. These, you 2/3, man, you gonna see. Okay? That's why the brothers didn't have to try to behave like you or act like you. Scriptures say, answer a fool according to his folly, right? So they were answering you according to what you were talking about and what you were doing and how you were behaving. But they weren't acting like you or becoming like you, trying to raise their voice and yell and da-da-da-da-da. Nah. Because from a distance, you see two people yelling, they both are fools, right? Now, when the cops approach, they're going to say both y'all individuals starting a mess, right? But the brothers were in the right, and that individual, he was in the wrong. So they're applying the scriptures. They were answering him according to his folly, telling him what's wrong, what he's doing wrong, and that's that. In no way do we ever step out there and say we all righteous. No, we go off in this walk. But the difference between us and you 2/3, y'all skate, y'all snowboarding down that tunnel. And us, we get a whole wall with fixed position, you know what I mean? Pray on the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, repent. Please forgive us for what we have done, But you 2/3, you have no consideration. You have no morals. You have no, you're given over to that reprobate mind, man. Exodus chapter 32. Yep, that's exactly what happened to you 2/3. Power off. Okay, and that's spiritual. So, Exodus chapter 32 and verse 9. And Yahweh said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now, therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. Now listen what Moses said. And Moses besought Yahweh, and Moses besought Yahweh his power, and said, Yahweh, why doeth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and a mighty hand? Wherefore, it should be highlighted, wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath, and repent of this evil against thy people. Now, when you go down, it says right here, Yahweh repented of which he thought to do to his people, which shows you that the Israelites were never done away with. If Yahweh wanted to do away with them, he could have done away with them, but he didn't. Okay, continuing, remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servant, whom thou swearest by thine own self, and saidst unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto you, unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. Okay, so Moses gave him a humble spirit. You could say, yeah, you know what? Do away with him, man. He showed integrity. He showed humbleness, and he knew the scriptures. So at that same time, he said, you know what? Let me let me, not to say let me pray for this people, but hey, this is your people that you said that you would multiply as the stars of heaven. As the scriptures say, forget them, they know not what they do. But Moses came with a humble spirit. Now you 2/3, you probably would have been like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, do away with them so I could be the man. You know what I mean? I'll be written in history. I'll be that yeah, do away with them. That's the type of spirit you 2/3 have. That rebellious, wicked type spirit, man. Wicked and rebellious spirit. You show no integrity. Okay? And just get straight to the point with this one, because this one could be a long one. This is Corinth, Abiram, Dayton. They spoke against Moses. Okay, but let's let's go to some Numbers chapter 24 and 16. Speak on to the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Corinth, Dayton, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went on to Dayton and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. Hold on a second, Salakia. Renowned men, yeah, famous men within the house of Israel right here. Yeah, so Salakia, this should be highlighted as well. So no, actually I should have started at 20. Numbers chapter 16 and 20. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, O power, the power of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak on to the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Corinth, Dayton, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went on to Dayton and Abiram, and the elders followed and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men. And that's going into you 2/3, man. You guys are fucking wicked men. Though we constantly go into these scriptures and break these things down to you, and it's always in your minds, it's always a new invention, but we've already seen this. There's nothing new underneath the sun. Romans 15:4. These things were written aforetime. So we could go gliding through the, we could go, how do you call it, gliding through the past, how do you call it, fuck is the word, teleporting. We teleport through these scriptures, man. We see you. We see who you are in these scriptures, man. We see what company you are in these scriptures. Okay? So anyways, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins. Right? Don't take nothing from these people. Don't come wrong from them. Don't take not a philosophy. Don't take a word from them. Don't take no advice. Because it tells you, to sit in the council of wicked men. Let me get that scripture real quick. 19. Yep. Sirach 19:22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. So don't take no advice from these people. Don't touch nothing of theirs. Don't take no advice from them. Don't listen to the way they're gonna bring their philosophy, because that's exactly, what happens. And that's what's happening right now. They learn the word and then they come up with something new. Try to put something new in there. So continuing. So they got up from the tabernacle of Corinth, Dayton, and Abiram on every side, and Dayton and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, Hereby ye shall know that Yahweh have sent me to do all these works. For I have done. And that's what the brother said too in the video. He goes, you're lucky that we don't have, within this very right time, like how Moses, and I'm going into it right now, what happened with the situation with Moses. You 2/3 are lucky right now, because we're walking, onto this prize. So we don't know, the Lord might, and we're seeing it right now. A lot of individuals in the truth are falling out, or they're going on to weird doctrines. Okay, so Matthew chapter 24:13, we got to be in a humble state, but at the same time, these words are coming out. Yahweh Shem Yahushua's words are coming out. So you have no cloak for your sins. So when that judgment, when that swelling breach blows out and tumbles upon you, you have no cloak for your sin, man. Everything's going to catch you. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 1. You being often reproved, and you harden your neck. We're reading about you, So when the brother had put this in here, I can't remember if it was a little bit back or more. I should turn on the, but I don't want to turn off the airplane mode, because people might call you and then boom, you gotta do part 2, But I'm gonna put a link in the description for the brother's video here. But yeah. So here, let me go back to 28. And Moses said, Hereby ye shall know that Yahweh have sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. And that's what we're telling you 2/3 out there. This work is of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. He puts these words in their mouth. Matthew chapter 10, 19 and 20. Matthew chapter 10, verse 19 and 20. Okay. Continuing. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then Yahweh have not sent me. But if Yahweh and this goes back into Deuteronomy. If the prophets say a thing and it doesn't come to pass, don't fear him, because the Lord has not spoken unto him. Okay? And this is a very scary thing for you 2/3, man. You better be listening. You better be listening up, because it's not of our own accord, it's of the Lord. Remember, the Lord chooses vessels. The Lord chooses men over here to do this work. So you best to be aware of who you're talking to and who you're coming up to, in that type of attitude, man. You know, wearing hats, once again, that Greek fashion, all shaved up, you know what I mean? This is clearly a Greek, okay? This is clearly a Greek, aka an American, a Babylonian, all right? Clearly. And like I said, this is the attitude of them. This is their attitude right here. Let me see, I can only play like... We them boys, we making noise, yeah, you making noise, we them boys, yeah, you boys alright, you're not men. And you're not boys too, man, because you're going to be written in the earth, man. The only way, you're going to be real men is when you come back in the kingdom. Right now, that's why the Lord is working with those vessels, those chosen vessels, okay? And we humbly say it. That's why we say that, the hopeful elect. But the Lord has chosen vessels out here to speak his words, man. Ezekiel chapter 3 and 4. How do you think the word gets out there? Okay? But these ragtag individuals talking about we bums. No, our riches are stored up in heaven, man. The immutable amount of riches that we got, Lord willing, stored up in heaven. Y'all just out here grabbing temporal things, man. All that shirt that you're wearing, that little vest, whatever, the damn hat, the Greek fashion, all this shit is gonna burn up. None of this shall protect you from a nuke. That car behind you, all them tires gonna pop, the gas in it's gonna explode. Remember, there's gas lines under the ground, so all the ground is gonna lift up. Has this individual ever seen fucking Terminator where that nuke went off and Sarah Parker, she was doing that dance? We call it the Sarah Parker dance. She was screaming, no, and her fucking flesh just ripped right off her. All you saw was a skeleton still screaming. That's how fast her flesh flew off of her. And her brain was still alive. You imagine that? And the seconds after that, she dropped. She's done. Because you can't survive that. So individuals like this, they're going to get nuked. Okay? These are the same individuals right here. Verse 30. Numbers chapter 16 and verse 30. But if Yahweh make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth, and swallow them up. Slakia. But if Yahweh make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth, and swallow them up, with all that appeareth unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, meaning the earth, the ground, okay? Then shall they understand that these men have provoked Yahweh. Oh boy, here it comes. And verse 31. And it came to pass, as he made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground cleaved asunder that was under them. And the earth opened her mouth, and the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appeared unto Corinth, and all their goods. They and all that appeared to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all of Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. And there came out a fire from Yahweh and consumed 250 men that offered incense. Okay, so as you can see, this is what's going to happen to these 2/3, these rebellious no good nicks. Okay, these type of individuals that come up thinking they know something. You think you know something, and you know nothing. Okay, and you don't even know what actions you're committing right there. And let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10. I'm going to close this out real quick. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Hamashiach. Another cut to you motherfucking Old Testament said, hey, how was Mashiach's not in the Old Testament? Well, you're not well learned. Verse 5, but with many of them, which them same fuckers, the Old Testament only, okay. And these nuances, like I said, that individual that came up running his mouth, right? And many more. But with many of them, God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples to the intent that we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. Yeah, and it goes on to tell you, but verse 11, now all these things happened unto them for an example, and they are written for admonishment, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Admonishment, warning. Don't end up like these guys. Don't be like these guys. Okay? And all these things happen as examples to the intent that we shouldn't lust after those wicked things in which they were doing. Okay? Speaking against dignity, speaking against what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua has set up. Okay? Thinking that you know more than the apostles and all this bullshit. Look, man, you guys are jokers. And going back into this individual here, this is exactly his attitude. Isaiah chapter 30 and verse, let's start at 9, well, no, 8. Now go, write it Slakia. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people. Going back to that individual, remember that? Remember there? See him there? The Fitz, Mr. Fitz. Okay. This rebellious people who going all the way back to Exodus, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh. Right? He didn't want to hear the Bible. He said, "Fuck that stuff. Fuck you guys. I'm rich. I got money. You broke. This, that, blah, blah." He was all over the place. Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. And that guy didn't want to hear the Bible. He didn't want to hear right things, right? Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceit. So I'm pretty sure if the brothers had twisted up, let's say it like this, if they had a switched up speed and started agreeing with him and saying this and that, he'd be like, yeah, that's right. You see, that's right. If the brothers had mixed it, as it says, agree with him and pull out scriptures to agree with him, then he'd be like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you guys got it. See, yeah, man, you guys got it, and he would have walked off. But that wasn't his attitude. His attitude was, I want to hear this, which, let's continue. Verse 11, get ye out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. This is what they're looking for. This is why they want us to agree with them. This is why they want us to speak these smooth things, because they don't want to hear about the coming destruction. They want to hear about the pending doom. Okay? They want to live their life in a closet, basically, with closers on their eyes, man. Darkened eyes, no light. This is how they love to live. What is that, John chapter 3? They don't want to come to the light because their deeds were evil, man. Okay? Verse 12, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness. What does it tell you? right here, you know. So anyways, trust in oppression and perverseness. Jeremiah chapter 7 and was that 8? You trust in lying words. As a matter of fact, let's just fact check that. It's right here. Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 8. Behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit. See? See? You see? But, you know, 2/3 they can't see. I ain't got to rub it in their face like that. But anyways, Isaiah chapter 30 and verse, go back to 12. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because he despised this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. Yeah, you stubborn as fuck. You like a toad, man. Therefore, this iniquity, sin stacked upon sin, right, shall be to you as a breach, what I was quoting earlier, ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaketh cometh suddenly at an instant. Now, I'm just saying this for plain words, high wall. Now, you had imagine you're standing at a building, right? And apartment building, and 1 story, 2 story, 3 story, 4 story, 5 story. You know what they say? The taller they are, the heavier they are, the harder they fall, right? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So, if that thing was right above your head, let's say you're 5'8", and that's right at 5'10" or something, and it busts out and hit you in your head one brick. Oh shit, my head bleeding. You know. Now let's say that's 5 feet above that. Or let's say that's 9 feet, right? And you're at 5 foot something. Now that busts out, boom, you're going to the hospital. Say that's 14 feet in the air. Say that's 50 feet in the air. You're dead. Okay? You're dead. So the point of the what I'm trying to say is that you Jakes, you have no cloak. There's nothing. Those death angels are going to be coming after you just as well. 1 Peter chapter 4 and 17. Lord said that judgment will begin at his house. Right? And Jakes, you just don't think, man. Oh, it's lucky. Verse 14. And he shall break it as the breaking of potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a shred, a sure to take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit. So it's not going to be nice for you guys in that day, man. This is why we tell, the brothers told him, hey, watch how you talking when you come up here, man. One thing, The other thing, he didn't want to listen. He thought he knew everything. He thought he was the King Don. Came up there showing off to his woman, but he just marked himself. Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 1. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring a sword upon the land, at the people of the land take a man of their coast, and set him for their watchman. If when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and take not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet, and took not warning. His blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver the soul. He heard the sound, right? That reminds me of this. And that's what we're doing. We're giving you a warning. You can't blame us for nothing. Romans chapter 10 and verse 17. So then, faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily the sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. Okay, so there's no excuse for you guys. You have no cloak. Okay, we were out there warning you, giving you warning. You didn't want to listen, but like it says right here, God did what? He gave them over to these things. Romans chapter 1 and 28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. Reprobate, void of understanding, man. Okay? A mind void of understanding, void. To do those things which are not convenient. Okay? So, hey man, he was doing those things which are not convenient. He didn't take the learning. You know, he was in this type of attitude.
So my niggas, they loaded up.
You know, that was the attitude that he was in.
We making noise.
You know, that's exactly the attitude that he was in, man. You know, we them boys. I know more than y'all. I got more money than y'all. Y'all broke. At the end of the day, year and week, man, you going to the same place as us. Okay? I don't understand. I'm like, hey, man, I'd rather build and store up my treasures in heaven where man don't break in and you know, rust don't corrupt and thieves don't take it, than to be building up a whole bunch of bullshit here that I know when I pass it's nothing. It's garbage. It's temporal. Okay? But you carnal individuals, you look at that and you chase after that and you run after that as, you know, that's the goal in life. You know, Matthew chapter 4 and 4, the Lord said that he will provide, man. But anyways, you know, these 2/3, they're going to get destroyed, man. And they deserve every inch of that fire, you know. And with that, all praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutation to all the Akim Duna pushing this word in all honesty, truth, and sincerity worldwide. And a sincere shalom to the elect worldwide. Shalom, I hope you're edified. Lord willing, to the next time. Wa abba babal. Shalom.